Welcome to the Title I, Part C, Migrant Education Program Eligibility Certification Training. My name is Claudia Melodic, and I am the Migrant Education Services Manager. This is Part 2 of the Title I, Part C, Migrant Education Program Eligibility Training. In this training, we will go over instructions for the Electronic Certificate of Eligibility and the Needs Assessment Form. I will also do an overview of the COE review process, re-interviews, and introduce our Migrant Education Services team. Throughout this presentation, recruiter refers to any trained and certified staff determining eligibility, regardless of their job title at Tri-Valley Opportunity Council or the local education agencies. The Electronic Certificate of Eligibility, or ECOE, is the legal document that contains the information necessary to demonstrate a child's eligibility for the migrant education program. It is also an indication of a parent or guardian's consent for a child to participate in the MEP. It is used to enroll eligible migratory children and youth into our database system, MIS 2000, that allows storage, retrieval, and reporting of a migratory child's academic and health information. The Minnesota Electronic COE is composed of the following sections: the family data, the child data, the qualifying moves and work, the comments, the parent, guardian, spouse, or worker's signature, the eligibility data certification, and the SEA reviewer signature. All 6 sections of the COE, including the needs assessment that is required for each child, must be entered when completing each new ECOE. All ECOE fields must be completed in order for it to be submitted for approval. If any information is missing, you may receive an error message or the ECOE will not pass through. You will find further instructions on how to fill out the sections of the COE and needs assessment in the Title I Part C Migrant Education Program MIS 2000 Overview Training video. The needs assessment is found by going into the student profile in the child data section of the COE. During your interview, you will select any supplemental instructional or support services the child may need and include any notes or comments if necessary. What should you do with the needs assessment? After filling out the needs assessment for each child, follow up with any services they may need that you are able to provide. Secondary and out-of-school youth may need a guidance counselor, or reach out to Noemi Trevino at the Minnesota Department of Education if you need further assistance or if you have any questions. If you are not sure how to help the family or student, look for other resources that may help, such as ABE, MERC, which is the Free Lending Library, guidance counselors, or the regional recruiters. They may have contact information for different local community agencies and community health services. An ECOE must be completed every time a child makes a new qualifying move that would renew the child's eligibility for the Title I Part C Migrant Education Program. All attempts should be made to complete all data elements and sections of the COE. In cases where a response may not be required or does not apply, the recruiter must leave it blank. all other information must be provided. If the recruiter completes a COE for a family, the recruiter must fill out a separate COE for any child who has a different qualifying arrival date, or for any child who has different eligibility criteria than the rest of the children in the family, such as an out-of-school youth who may have moved as the worker. The qualifying arrival date is the date that both the child and the worker completed moves to the same school district. If more than one COE is necessary, the recruiter must complete all sections on each form. The recruiter must not include any child in the child data section who was born after the qualifying move described on the COE in number 1 of the qualifying moves and work section, or is not eligible to receive a free public education through grade 12 under state law, or did not make the qualifying move described on the COE in number 1 of the qualifying moves and work section. BAM babies and those not eligible for a free public education may be listed in the comment section if necessary. Search MIS 2000 before starting a new eCOE and entering family data, or check the national database M6 to verify the qualifying arrival date and avoid entering a duplicate record. If the QAD is the same and the family has not made a new qualifying move, do not create a new COE. If the QAD is different, verify the information with the interviewee, determine eligibility, and create a new COE if applicable. After filling out the COE, review the information on the COE with the interviewee before submitting, verifying spelling of names, dates of birth, addresses, and telephone numbers. You should also notify the family that they may receive a phone call for a re-interview from one of the regional recruiters in our state. This is the electronic COE review, verification, and approval process. Remember that recruiter refers to anyone who is trained and certified to determine eligibility for the MEP. The recruiter determines eligibility, does the first review with the family for accuracy, then submits the COE to the data coordinator. The data coordinator does the second review. If there is missing information or eligibility is not clear, she will reject the COE and ask the recruiter to update the COE with necessary information. If it's filled out correctly, the COE moves forward to the other data coordinator to verify student information to merge with past records or add as a new student. If at final review eligibility is not clear, the Migrant Education Services Manager may need to reject the eCOE to the data coordinator. The data coordinator may follow up with the recruiter for more information. If approved by the Migrant Education Services Manager, services can begin. Students under second and third year of eligibility may be served right away. Students may not be served with MEP funds until they have been determined eligible. Please let us know if you need us to process a COE for any student who has not been determined eligible and they are in need of services. The Migrant Student Information Exchange, or M6, is the national database. Data from the Minnesota database, MIS 2000, is uploaded into M6 nightly. Accounts are set up by the Migrant Education Services Data Systems Specialist, Linda Fournier. Here's what you can do in M6. Send move notifications by email when students leave your area to assist the next state's recruitment efforts. Receive notifications when students arrive in your area. Review past move information to assist you in verifying previous qualifying as well as non-qualifying moves when interviewing families. Review a student's migrant history to assist in the needs assessment process. Search for the immunization flags to determine where immunization records reside. Run M6 student mobility in multiple states reports to determine mobility patterns and plan recruitment efforts for our state. Contact Linda Fournier if you need assistance with M6. Re-interviews involve independently interviewing families and checking each criterion that makes children eligible for the MEP. The COEs for re-interviews are pulled randomly and assigned to the regional recruiters. They conduct 50 re-interviews for Minnesota and 50 for North Dakota annually. Re-interviewing allows confirmation of our state's eligibility determinations and the accuracy of the numbers of migratory children that our state reports. It also helps to identify and fix any problems in our state's ID&R process, and it can help to establish a discrepancy or defect rate for monitoring and funding purposes. Families should be notified that they may receive a phone call from a Tri-Valley employee who will ask them questions about their move and agricultural work. The calls may come from a cell phone and are done at different hours of the day and over the weekends to try and reach the family. We are not checking their answers. We are making sure that the recruiters are determining eligibility correctly. We are also asking them for feedback on our programs and services they may have received. The Migrant Education Services team consists of the Assistant Director, the Manager, the Data Systems Specialist, and 2 Data Coordinators. We are located in the Lee Center Administrative Office. Please reach out to us with any questions about the Migrant Education Program, recruitment requests, MEP eligibility concerns, or for assistance with MIS 2000 or M6. The ID&R team consists of 4 regional recruiters located in different areas of our state. The team is responsible for the identification and recruitment of eligible migratory children throughout the state of Minnesota. They connect families to local resources in the community. They can also provide some assistance in ID&R to help new recruiters get comfortable in conducting MEP eligibility interviews with families. They also conduct the North Dakota and Minnesota re-interviews. Please use the recruitment request to connect with a regional recruiter if you need help finding local resources for migratory families or with recruitment efforts. After you complete Part 1 and 2 of the Title 1C MEP Eligibility Certification Training and the MIS 2000 and M6 trainings, I will share the link for the certification test in an email. Use this link to access the test and use training materials that were shared with you to take the test. You will need to get 100% to pass, so take your time and take notes in case you need to retake it. If you need assistance or come across something that you feel we didn't cover, please reach out to me for help or clarification. If you get a wrong answer and need to start over, do not try resuming the test. You will need to log in as if it's the first time taking the test unless you saved to resume at a later date. Once you get 100% on your test, your name will be added to the list of recruiters for our state and your certification is valid for 1 year. You have joined a dedicated team of people throughout the state who work together to identify and recruit the migrant-eligible students in Minnesota. We welcome you to our team and look forward to working with you.